Our country is going to hell.
Just hours after making history in a New York courtroom, the Trump show was back in full swing down in Mar-a-Lago.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America.
Donald defiant after becoming the first current or former US president ever to face criminal charges.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it.
Prosecutors disagree, slapping the former pres with 34 felonies as bombshell new claims came to light.
A catch and kill scheme to buy and suppress negative information to help Mr. Trump's chance of winning the election.
Trump accused of falsifying business documents to hide hush money payments, not only to porn star Stormy Daniels, but to a doorman who claimed Trump had fathered a baby out of wedlock, and to Playboy bunny Karen McDougal, who wanted to sell her story of a Trump affair prior to the 2016 election.
These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Fingerprints taken, but no mugshot or handcuffs for the Donald, who pleaded not guilty to all charges, insisting yet again it's a witch hunt.
Alvin Bragg of New York, who campaigned on the fact that he would get President Trump. I will get Trump. I will get him. This fake case was brought only to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election, and it should be dropped immediately.
Deflecting in true Trump style with some old classics.
Russia, Russia, Russia. The Hunter Biden laptop from hell. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine.
And plenty of new strange tangents.
Even removed many boxes to Chinatown. Barron will be great someday. He's tall. He is tall.
But there's no deflecting what's to come. Trump's next court date is in December.
Really satisfying as a New Yorker to see him finally see the inside of the courtroom like every other criminal.
It's a sad day for our country.
That's the country in which we live, however, right now. The USA is a mess.
Steve Clemons is here to tell us what comes next. Steve, Trump does have the right to remain silent. Are you surprised, nay, shocked that he hasn't exercised that right?
Not at all. We sort of expected him to take everyone on. He's taken on the district attorney's the wife, the judge, special counsel in other cases, you know, the whole legal system. So we sort of expected him to do this, and he's doing it in grand style.
Steve, there's a lot of moving parts. So how exactly did this catch and kill scheme work?
Well, catch and kill means there's a person who wants to shut down a story goes and finds the source of that story. Maybe that happens to be a Playboy playmate. Maybe that happens to be a doorman at a hotel. And both of these happen to be part of the Donald Trump case. And a magazine or a publication buys the rights to that story. So they pay exclusive amount of money to those individuals, and then they bury that story so the story is never told. So they catch the story and they kill the story.
The other argument that Donald Trump has been running is that this is all politically motivated because the DA campaigned on getting Trump. Is there anything to that point?
Well, look, I think that the DA has assembled a very, very detailed story of 34 counts of malfeasance of what they see, the forging of business records and the covering up of other behaviors related to a political campaign. I think that it wouldn't stand the light of day if it were all political. The fact, though, is it's also about politics. And while it's a crime, and I think the DA has a case, there are a lot of people who look at this as not rising to the standard that a former president should be held to. And that's a problem of politics, not of law. And that's why we have this gap right now and some tensions over this case.
I don't believe that there's a law prohibiting Trump from being president while in jail. Do you think he will run the country from behind bars?
We have never seen that before in American history. Of course, we've never seen what we've seen in American history. I highly doubt that President Trump will serve a day behind bars, even if he is found guilty on these charges.
Steve, why is that?
Well, because right now we know from those that have engaged in felonious behavior, if they have an otherwise clean record, which Donald Trump actually has, they don't go to jail. They may pay a fine. They may even do community service, but they don't go to jail.
So if he is elected president, could he actually pardon himself on the charges?
Well, it's an interesting question you asked that. I don't believe so, because this is a state law that he has violated. He's being held to account within the state of New York. And presidents can only pardon federal crimes, not state crimes. So in this case, he is unable to pardon himself.
Steve, do you think Trump might actually prefer to be found guilty, given how the whole thing seems to rile up his supporters?
Well, I think right now, anything in which he's being held accountable by the New York legal system is something that's helping to fuel his fundraising and helping him to distance himself from other Republican candidates. You have to understand, Waleed, just in the last 2 weeks, he was 8 points ahead of current Florida Governor DeSantis. He's now 26 points ahead. So this is fueling, at least for the time being, Donald Trump's resurgence inside the Republican Party. He's back, and he's back with a vengeance. So, yeah, I think this helps him, doesn't hurt him.
Steve, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.